Welcome to another edition of the Playbook. I'm Frigola. We are 3/4 of the way through the NFL season, and we've got plenty to talk about, including a look at Week 14's marquee matchups. But as always, we start off with the Redskins with my guy, Louis T. here, our resident analyst. The Redskins had a chance to really separate themselves at the top of the NFC East. Big game in FedEx Field on Monday night, prime time. They couldn't get it done, 19-16.
That was a gut punch, Free. That one stung. And seeing the things that transpired on Sunday with the Jets getting the Giants and the Eagles winning, in a game that we really didn't see happening the way that it did, unfolding the way that it did, the Redskins really had a chance to seize control of this division at 6-6. And this is a Cowboys team that you expected to be able to run the football. Well, they didn't in this game. They had Matt Castle at quarterback. You felt good about if you were able to stop the run, if you were able to force some turnovers. And the Redskins did that in this game, forcing 3 turnovers. You expected them to be able to come out on top and win this football game, and to force 3 turnovers, to only get 3 points out of those turnovers, to have the penalties that they did to derail drives, to have the special teams blunders that they had in this ball game, to have the predictability on the offensive side in terms of the run game that they just continued to stick with, although it was not working. It was a really frustrating game for the Redskins.
It was very frustrating because, like you said, the defense did their job. The defense held the Cowboys to 1 of 9 third-down conversions. That's the least of any team that the Redskins have played all season long. So, to the offensive side of the ball, they were way too conservative in this game. They stuck with the run way too much. Only had 73 rushing yards. And it wasn't as if they were setting up the running game to really set up something down the field. They never really got there.
Right. And the one criticism I have of Jay Gruden and Sean McVay this season is the inconsistency of the play calling, because one week you'll get the boots, you'll get the play action fake shots, you'll get the screen game, and then the next week you won't. It'll be almost invisible. And so this was one of those weeks where you felt like, okay, they're setting up something, but you never really got that shot down the field. You never got the bootlegs that you were really looking for in this game. And I think what has gone unnoticed was a huge injury that we really didn't talk about leading up to this game, and that was tight end Derek Carrier not being able to play, because when you put those 2 tackles on the field in Tom Compton and Ty Nsekhe, you really take all of the different things that you can do out of the playbook, because you're not throwing the football with those guys in the lineup. So you really basically limit yourself to being able to run the football.
And they hurt themselves tremendously with penalties, had 9 penalties for 74 yards. They also weren't aggressive in attacking the blitz. We saw what they did against the Saints, running screens to combat the blitz. We didn't see that in this game because Dallas threw the kitchen sink at Kirk Cousins.
Yep, they sure did. They came after him early, and I think that might have really shook Jay Gruden and Sean McVay to their core. I think they really started to alter some of the things they wanted to do offensively because of the pressure the Cowboys applied early and hit home. I think it may have gotten them out of their comfort zone a bit and may have had led them to stick to the run a little bit more than they may have wanted to in this game.
And late in the fourth quarter, Deshaun Jackson made a huge, costly mistake, reversing the field and then fumbling the ball inside Redskins territory, really gave the game away.
Yeah, that was a huge play, and it was a blunder on the part of Deshaun Jackson. And he's a veteran. You expect him to know better. You knew he wanted to make a play. He felt like he was open a couple of times, and Kirk didn't give him the football. So he felt like he was putting the onus on himself to go out and make a play. But that situation didn't call for him to do that. It was a tie ball game. Redskins 2 timeouts, plenty of time on the clock. You only need a field goal to win. That wasn't the time for that. And even though he ultimately came back and was able to make amends for the mistake, that play that he made really altered the outcome of the game, because the Redskins either should have been winning the game in regulation or that game should have been going to overtime.
I tell you, a lot of Redskins fans were frustrated because no one seemed to get a hand on Sean Lee. That guy was loose all game long and was wrecking havoc.
Yeah.
But moving on, the Redskins are 0-5 on the road, and now you're asking them to win maybe 1 or 2 of the next 3 of the 4 games they have on the road. They're going to Chicago against the Bears. How do you like that matchup?
I think it's a matchup that the Redskins can take advantage of. The Redskins have done a really good job, I think, of playing opponents the way that you would expect a team of their caliber to play. The really good teams in the league they've struggled with, but the teams that you feel like they're supposed to beat outside of the division, they've been able to beat this season. And so I look at the Chicago Bears as a very winnable road game. The Bears came off of a tough loss against San Francisco. They were in the playoff hunt themselves. That loss was debilitating to them. So I think they're kind of reeling right now. They're a team that I think the Redskins can go in there, maybe establish a little bit of a run game. Maybe we'll see the screen game return. Maybe we'll see the boots return. Maybe we'll see Deshaun Jackson get a couple of targets down the field, and maybe they'll be able to score more than 16 points, which is what they were able to amass versus the Cowboys.
And you mentioned the Bears are now outside of the playoff picture, 5-7 themselves. Doesn't look like they're going to have a shot at the playoffs, but sometimes those are the teams that are the most dangerous, right?
You find that to be the case sometimes.
And that offensive line has been very effective all season long. Can this Redskins defensive line win the battle at the line of scrimmage?
The thing that the Bears love to do with their offensive coordinator, Adam Gase, is they love to go with that short passing game. He's done a remarkable job of revamping Jay Cutler and his ability to get the football out of his hands quickly. So if the Redskins are going to have success in this game, I think they're going to have to do much of what they did against Eli Manning. Play cover two, come up, put your corners up at the line of scrimmage, press the receivers, disrupt the timing of the routes, give your defensive line a chance to hit home and get pressure on Jay Cutler.
And how much of the success they have defensively is going to rely on whether or not they can stop Matt Forte and Jeremy Langford?
It's going to be huge. I think that's been the emphasis of this defense the last couple of weeks, is stopping the run. I thought it was a huge emphasis put on stopping the Cowboys' rushing attack, and they did that. And so you feel good about what they've been doing. They're trending in the right direction, run defense-wise. We'll see if they continue to do what they've been doing over the last couple of weeks, stopping the run.
All right, so it's a three-way tie right now at the top of the NFC East, the Redskins, Giants, Eagles, and then you've got the Cowboys just one game back. How confident are you that this Skins team can still pull out the division win?
Everything is still right there in front of them. I think of all the teams that you just mentioned, the Redskins have the easiest path. Now, when I say easy, that's a really relative term because they still have to go on the road. And they have not won a game on the road all season long. And their final 4 games, 3 of them are on the road, 2 of them in the division. So we'll see how the Redskins are able to navigate their way through the schedule. But if you ask me, they still hold the keys to this division in their hands.
I agree with you. I think it's going to be an exciting finish, as was that Dallas game Monday night. But if the Redskins can't put the game away and put the division away, I'm going to see a lot of angry Redskins fans who might have thought they actually had a shot to win and make it to the playoffs. So we'll see how it goes.